Welcome back to VOR Classic with Joel, Mike, and Ed.
Vader.
It's the voice of the Republic by me, Chris Walken. You know, I had a chance. Who did he really try out for Han Solo?
I think he was. I don't know that he necessarily tried out. It was probably a name that was discussed more than. I don't think there's an actual audition, or else I bet they would have shown the taped audition since they showed so many other bad
Was
ones.
Annie Hall out at that time? Because that's the one thing. I really like that scene in Annie Hall.
Oh, the scene where you creeped out Woody Allen? That was great. I was ready to call the police on you.
Awesome.
Wow, great scene, kids. Annie Hall, check it out. Classic.
Oh, here's a Vader moment from my past. I got brought down. The JCs were doing this thing down at the mall, and I got taken by another neighbor, Matt Young, and his family. And we went down to the mall, and they had Darth Vader like walking around the mall.
Okay.
And it was like this like awesome costume, like perfect.
Yeah.
And the heavy breathing and all that. And Vader picks me out of the crowd and grabs me by the neck and picks me up.
That's where it all started. Joel picking up little kids by the neck.
But Vader had literally picked me up by the throat.
He didn't do what you did and stick an arm in the armpit?
No,
Hand in the
he
armpit?
picked me up by the throat.
You didn't grab his wrists or anything? You just stood there?
No, well, what could
big
you do?
stupid
It's Darth
smile.
Vader picked me out of the crowd and picked me up, and so
Awesome, Darth Vader's gonna kill me.
and so he goes, "I am your father," and then I realized it's my dad.
That is great.
Are you kidding?
It was my dad, and so it's just oh, thank God, because I don't know what's gonna happen.
See, I'll bet the story's better from your dad's perspective.
Oh, and he will. Should I record him telling it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
We'll do
probably
we'll do a call in with your dad sometime.
Oh my gosh, it scared the crap out of
Like
me.
3 times as long.
And so I kind of figured that something was up, but at the same time, because my dad's a big guy, he kind of looks like Fred Flintstone,
Yeah.
like a 6'5" Fred Flintstone.
Yeah.
Kind of talks like Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Smash those up and there
Well,
you go.
from the Carolinas.
No, but if he should we tell where you work? Have you mentioned that?
Oh, where I
before?
work?
Yeah.
Oh, I work at the Golf Channel.
Okay, Ed works at the Golf Channel.
Golfchannel.com.
My dad is a golf nut, and so we gave him a tour of the Golf Channel, and he really turned on the cracker.
He was it was his time in the spotlight.
Yeah, he Gomer piled for an hour
God.
or two.
Yeah, never. he's a civilized guy. You can talk to him about anything outside of there, but it was. And you talked about it before, but when I finally met up with you guys, it was just what is he doing? Golly, look at this. Look,
It's magical.
this is all satellite. This is,
Oh, father. Felt like Sylvester's kid,
Yeah.
in the cartoon. Oh, father. But no, he had a ball, and he had a ball play. So what the coolest thing was getting to check out the costume when he brought it home later.
How did he get it?
There was some place in Charlotte, North Carolina that had made it,
Oh.
and so there was it was like the ruby helmet,
Yeah.
and then all the rest of it was kind of handmade.
Far
And
out.
so the chest piece was all pieces of painted glass.
Oh.
And sharp as shit. But I mean, they were the exact thing, but they were glass,
Yeah.
but they were painted on one side and then glued on.
Okay, was it
onto
lit?
Huh?
Was it lit?
No.
No.
All right, no lights.
Well, great
whatever.
story.
That's
Anyway.
the end of the story.
Lame.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
Done with that. But yeah, he scared the crap out of me.
I saw
Nice.
Vader at a couple of car shows. I've seen Vader at the car show. In
I
DC.
love
I've seen him at
Corvettes.
a few events, like meet and greet events at Sears. At the
Yeah.
mall. Yeah.
I think I wanted to go to one, but my parents wouldn't allow it.
They weren't having it. None of it.
No, I don't know what the deal was. I mean, Vader, me, kid, what's your problem? What don't you understand?
Yeah.
I did get to see the Son of Svengoolie, but that's another story. Local horror movie show host. Him? Fine. Vader? No. That hurt me. Hurt me deep. Anyway, so speaking of fathers, let's get back to the Dark Father.
It would have
Darth
been.
Vader.
It ended up being my dad too.
It probably would have been.
I am your father.
Dad? Your breath smells like brandy. You are my dad. Father. Sorry, that was pretty. Anyway, yeah.
Vader.
Well, we all definitely agree that we wish. I mean, we talked about that how before. We wish they would have taken Kid Annie and just kind of cut to the chase, just sped it up a little more. And for episode 2, we were waiting for these friggin' clones. You know, why couldn't little Anakin be a quick like flashback and then jump right into 20-something Anakin, and then for the next one, give us our Clone War action.
Yeah.
And then if you're gonna give us our Clone War action, you know, let's step up Vader so that maybe he turns Vader halfway through episode 3 instead of at the end, so that way we can see why don't we get to see the Purge?
Yeah.
I mean, is the TV show gonna show it? Maybe, but I doubt it.
I've got to be honest with you. Since I love the films all 6.
I do mean Purge of the Jedi, non-initiated.
Yeah.
Anyway,
all 6.
Yes.
I love them. There's something that I love about all of them. As weird and detached as they can be, and how, no matter whether there's embarrassing stuff in it or not. However, after reading the book, the Rise of Darth Vader book, I had fantasies of hoping to Christ that the cartoon would pick up, like the animated series would pick up just and be all Vader on this just quest up to find himself, figure himself out, like go back to the edge of the light side maybe at some point, and like have these memories, and just, there's all of this really dramatic stuff you can do with this character.
Yeah.
And boy, we really didn't do any of it, did we? we really screwed that one.
Yeah, you took the whiny guy, you put him in a suit, which again, I can argue that was far too advanced for the time when it was built, considering that other versions seem to be a step down from the original. But regardless of that, it was a little too finished Darth Vader for me. But anyway, I would love to see him, like you're saying, and maybe like between missions of finding himself, maybe he would just like hang out in orbit over Tatooine and just fucking stare it out, you know? Just like, I could quit. I could go back home, you know? I could go down to Mos Eisley. I could keep I could keep breathing gear, and I could still have a life, you know? I don't have to be this. I could just go back. I can be forgotten for all the freaks that live on this planet.
There was that. I thought maybe going back to Mustafar. I had this idea in my head of him going back to the place and looking for a sword, having a memory of, well, because he complains about the sword in the book, and I thought, wouldn't it be neat if he's complaining about the new
lightsaber,
and he thinks to himself, you know, screw this, I'm going back. He jumps in the new Black Sith starfighter, goes back to Mustafar, and he's just looking for a sword, and has all these cartoon flashbacks of the fight, and then he sees the landing pad where he sees Padme for the last time, and he stands there, and he's like, that was great.
I hope to God that picks up.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
But like, there's lots of dramatic stuff you could do with the character, and God, I hope this new stuff does somehow approach that.
Well, I know that we're like totally like, you know, kind of blowing Matthew Stover and James Luceno, but like really that that Rise of the Dark Lord book and Labyrinth of Evil, both of those are like I'm gonna have to make it recommended and like, you know, required reading.
Yeah, the only way you're gonna pass our course, the only way you're gonna live through the radio revolution is by reading these books. Because
like even like Labyrinth of Evil like takes a good portion of the second Clone Wars cartoon, like the kind of dummy stuff, you know, like with Shakti and all that. It has that. It has like an almost even more proper version of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really really cool, because I think a lot of it is that when it comes to these books, especially the two that we mentioned, that they took time to explore characters, you know, like especially in Dark Lord, he's really explaining instead of where the movies probably should have. He's getting in depth of a guy who's now he's all covered in armor and stuff like that. He's really getting into the transition of a guy who's now trapped in an iron lung, and he's there because of actions that he performed. He put himself in this prison. Now he has to become this new character.
Yeah. And
it's him kind of becoming less Anakin and more Vader, you know, and dealing with this and a lot of the realistic and emotional difficulties that he would have going through this. So Again, yeah, recommended reading. So
I'll have to jump
fascinating
on
stuff.
that.
Required.
Labyrinth.
Required.
Required. I'll bring it to you.
Yeah, Labyrinth is cool. Labyrinth is really cool. I mean, that's not so much into the Vader, but
Well, I mean, like
But still.
because it's Anakin. You know, it takes place between 2
Yeah.
and 3. So
yeah, there's still quality Anakin stuff.
yeah, one of the coolest aspects is that there's a lot of stuff that like kind of gets lost in the movies, like like Darth Maul's ship.
Mhm.
He just kind of left it,
Oh yeah.
and so it turns out like the Republic had been hanging on to this ship for years, trying to figure out because it's one of those things of where everything is pointing toward Palpatine, but Palpatine keeps like kind of deferring and putting up smoke screens,
Yeah.
and they're like, hey, don't you have a deal with like this one dude to make new ships for the Republic? And yes, I do. Well, this dude made the ship for this Sith, this one of a kind ship that we have,
Yeah.
but it's all geared to explode if you mess with it,
Yeah.
and they can see that, but they just have the ship.
Yeah.
It's like all that kind
They
of
have it,
crap.
but they can't do anything with it, and they know where it came from, but they don't know why or who built it, like who ordered it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's got cloaking devices and all this secret stuff, secret weapons. It's like the most advanced thing that they've ever seen. But
And
No
as far as I
history.
know, like one Sith has it, and conveniently, it's like made by the Halliburton of the Republic,
right.
and just like you deal with these guys all the time, like who ordered this ship and all that cool little.
And and
Kinda
on a really
neatly.
cool CIA level, everybody involved with creating this ship was mysteriously died
Yeah,
through circumstances. Everyone.
everyone that had anything to do with it, and so there's that weird kind of.
The upholstery guy.
Yeah, everybody
Really?
that had anything to do with it, and like also there was like they have an entire scene that takes place on Cato Nemoidia. Like Nemoidia has like a bunch of planets.
Okay.
And like so they've been taking over one by one, but they find out that for some reason Gunray came back to one of the planets, and they're like, why would he come back? And it turns out that there's like a whole bunch of stuff that he needs.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was left behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
And stuff that would link him back to Sidious, and so that just following them and following that is really awesome.
Yeah. Great stuff. But yeah, let's get on it, kids.
Get on it, reading for next week.
Read it. Never mind your crazy Darth Vader fan fiction.
To continue this episode of VOR Classic, click the link on your screen now. Right now! If you like it, please click the thumb and share it with your friend. Now, let's continue the episode.